Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. This is an extra special edition of Coffee, Tea, You and Me. For those of you who know me, who've been hanging out with me, you realize that this is something that I've been doing for the last 20 years. I started out doing Coffee, Tea, You and Me in my local coffee shop, and I would meet entrepreneurs and business leaders, and we would come together every Friday around 3 o'clock, and we would share information back and forth and talk to one another. And I did it because as a person who's about service to the community and working hard to uplift the community, I found myself sitting on several boards, for profit and nonprofit, and everybody wanted to get in front of me. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody wanted to take some of my time. And I realized I don't have a lot of time to give. But if I told everyone, just meet me here for coffee every Friday at the local Panera Bread from 3 to 5. I'll answer any questions that you have about anything I'm doing, anything you want to know, anything you want to plug in, I'll plug it in. I won't hold anything back. I won't try to do anything else. All this is all about an opportunity to serve you. And I got the bug. I really caught fire for helping small women-owned, minority-owned businesses find a way to get a foothold into the community and to create magic. And today's program is a special program because if you know that today is the fourth day of Kwanzaa, and on this day, typically what we celebrate is what we call Ujamaa. Ujamaa is a Kiswahili word that really stands for cooperative economics. And when you put those two words together, cooperative and economics, what we're really talking about is making sure that everything we possibly can do within the community is to find ways to work together to accomplish and establish whatever it is we're trying to establish, and to work together to share the rewards of that accomplishment. So that means my business is not just my business. My business belongs to the community that I exist in. It belongs to the family that I exist in. And everybody has a stakeholder responsibility toward that business, whether they're working in the business, whether they're giving me advice, whether they're an investor in the business, or maybe somehow they're related to some concept or quality that I've shared within the business. It's all a part of their neighborhood. It's all a part of their community. And so therefore, their opportunity is to engage with me to do what they can to make it better. And in doing so, I owe them the spoils. I owe them a share of the returns from what we need to do, and vice versa for their business. So, if you know me, you know that I believe everybody's an entrepreneur. I don't care whether you work for somebody or you're selling a product for somebody or you're working in collaboration with somebody else. Everybody is basically hiring their service out, trying to figure out a way to take their talent, their gifts, and get a return for those talents and gifts. It's unfortunate, however, the larger or the organization is that you tend to work for, the less of that pie you get to take home, because there's other people that have to share with that pie and get some of that return and all that kind of stuff. And so I love small business. I love community-born and community-based businesses because that's what they're all about. They're all about finding the opportunity to reach out and reach everyone, basically employ people, making sure the economy is strong in the area, and collaborating and working with others, because literally what small businesses know that other businesses don't seem to know is that you cannot do it by yourself. You have to work with others. But if you haven't figured it out, if you have a small business, if you haven't figured that out, you will figure that out really shortly, that it's impossible to build your own website, do your own accounting, do your own legal work, make sure all your marketing strategies are perfect all the time, make sure the fulfillment, the client fulfillment, the sales, and everything is accounted for properly all the time. It is literally impossible for one person to wear the 10,000 different hats that you have to wear in order to be a successful entrepreneur. So what you have to learn is how to develop an interdependent relationships with other people. And we're going to talk all about that today. In fact, today we're going to talk about Ujamaa and how Ujamaa works as a principle within Kwanzaa. How does the collective and a cooperative economic strategy really work? And when you leave here today, you're going to learn a little bit more about how to improve your social and emotional health and the health and that of everyone around you. You're going to learn a little bit more about how to consider and how to leverage multiple levels of talent inside yourself and with others. You're going to be able to create systems that give them that safety, that emotional energy that needs to happen in order to move the whole community forward. We're going to develop some strong and supportive relationship-based understandings that will come out of sharing and learning and showing admiration. We're going to create some meaningful partnership agreements. I'll teach you how to identify somebody who should be a great partner for you, who might be able to help you create a foundational support for whatever you want to grow in your business, help you really tremendously create your calling and an understanding of how you might impact the environment. And then we're going to do some things that will help you provide the support that you should be providing to your future teammates and proteges. And we're going to do a lot more. So I hope you're in. I hope you're engaged. I hope you're excited. We've got a lot to share, a lot to talk about. In fact, today I have a super special guest that I am so excited that I'm going to bring to the table for you guys. This young lady, I have to tell you, is like, when you think about quality of character, right? There are people who, you might not think are, so suspect, right? But very few people I can say that I meet and instantly I could tell there was something super special about them, something that I just knew was going to lend towards greatness. And I just want to I want to take a seat at the table, right? I want to be a part of that greatness and just sit in the draft of whatever she's about to create. And then I got a chance to talk to Anjali just yesterday. And earlier today, we were talking and we were talking about some of the shared values and some of the shared principles we have. And she's just a person that, I thought is like, the Bible says there's a term called equally yoked. When you find somebody who's of a kindred spirit, somebody who you think thinks like you or talks like you, has the same kind of energy you bring to the table, she is a rock star. If you think I'm a high energy person, wait until you meet Anjali. She's super high energy. She's super smart, super strategist, and she's got a gift of just being just a wonderful human being, which I'm so glad to bring in front of you. She's going to be sharing the panel and discussion with me today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself to you, and I'm going to post some information on how you can get in contact with her and all that kind of stuff, and we'll start off with that. Anjali, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this.
Hi. Oh my gosh, Marvin, can I record that and play that every single morning when I wake up? Or that intro was just beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, I feel the same way meeting you. It was wonderful. It was so nice. I'm so honored to be in your space and to learn from you. And I've learned already so much. And yes, equally yoked, like attracts like. And that is so wonderful. So I'm Anjali. Hello, hello. And I'm so excited. Right behind me, right here, is this my fabulous, amazing baby. It is an aeroponic tower garden, and I am all over it. I just launched a new business with them. I'm going to paint the whole world white and black. It's all about unity. It's about empowering people, empowering children, empowering people to grow their own produce. It's a game changer. It is a huge game changer. And for those of you who don't have green thumbs, for those of you who live in cold areas, for those of you who want to eat more raw or fresh produce, this is a thing for you. I mean, there is a school in the South Bronx that had a 43% graduation rate. And they have all these tower gardens in their school. All the children plan them, they plant them, they harvest, and they have taken their graduation rate to 93%. Oh, I mean, we're just getting started, and that's just in the South Bronx. So it is so amazing. I'm so excited to be here. I love Marvin. I mean, we're about to create magic, and anyone that wants to come on and create magic too, come on over, because we need you to help us get it out. If you live we're in 25 different countries. So if you're all over the United States, if you're in Canada, if you're in South America, if you like to travel, I mean, come on, bring it over, because it's all about unity. We're going into 2022. I just read an article earlier today that grocery prices are going up. I don't want to hear that. Food is already expensive. So if you want to be empowered, you want to eat healthy, This is an aeroponic tower garden. This, yes, is the same model from the Disney World turned into the home unit. So the technology has been around since the 80s. Oh my gosh, it's been tested. This indoor model right here has lights. I mean, there's no excuse for you to not grow your own produce now. It's so easy. You clean it twice a year. So the low maintenance, monthly payments. Oh, that rhymed. Your children are going to love it. You know, if your kids eat fresh produce when they're younger, you know they're going to grow up to be adults that eat fresh produce. Canned veggies, bless their heart, they don't have no nutrition in them. And so have you ever eaten a mushroom that was canned versus a real mushroom? It is highly different. So I'm just so excited. I have so many ideas and I want to meet you. I want to connect. You know, let's go for it. I mean, I just met recently a diplomat from Haiti, and I went to the Haitian embassy and looked at all this beautiful art, and all we did was talk about art and food, my two favorite things. And so I'm going to be bringing, I'm so excited, these tower gardens to Haiti. So if you want to be a part of a mission like this, where you want kids to eat better, you want to eat better, you want to impact schools in your local community, community centers, nursing homes, we need to do business. We need to talk, because this is a game changer. This is amazing. And it is the gardening of the future. We need to give our soil a break. I don't know about you, but even if you do plant soil and you do have compost and you do give it kisses and you do bless it by the Lord, which is amazing, it's still not the soil of our grandparents. It's depleted. And so let's give it a break, and let's still all do that. Bless it, bless the soil. But let's just focus on right now this amazing tower garden. You can have it at home. What more can I say?
Oh my God, thank you so very much. And like Anjali said, that is an amazing product. It's an amazing process. It does so much for our health, so much for our wellness, so much for our mental clarity, to be able to eat whole, good food without the pesticides, without the chemicals, without any of the stuff that could damage us. And she told us, told me a story earlier about a senior care center that had like a couple of these in their garden, in their space. And it's such an amazing thing. Could you think about walking into an elder care center and they're growing their own lavender, and what that must feel like and smell like to them, to be able to have that available to them. I know I'm going to get one for my wife. She's going to be plopping her herb garden in there and everything she possibly can put in there, African violets or whatever she wants to do, and it's going to be something that we're gonna really enjoy. So I highly encourage you to pay attention. Her information, Aunt Julie's information, is right here, and it's right here in front of you. It's in the chat if you're following us on the chat. If you have any questions for her about anything of that stuff, go right ahead and do that. We're going to do something special real quick before we go into the Ujamaa process. We're going to ask Anjali a couple quick questions. We're going to go inside the business mind. And so we're going to find out a little bit more about her, what she's all about, what makes her tick, all that kind of good stuff. And the whole goal, guys, is to really get an idea of, who she is. You know me. For those of you who know me, I like to lift up entrepreneurs and business leaders and try to find ways for them to communicate more effectively and get their message out to the world. So here we go. Question number one. Anjali, you met me at the round table, and you know what we're all about there. We're all about communication, collaboration, and encouragement. If you really, really look close at those things, I know they're all important to you, but which one do you most closely connect to, and why?
Okay, well, I love that question, and I had to choose all of them. They're all mixed together, because think about it. All of them together form the best synergy. Without communication, how do we collaborate with people from different backgrounds from us? How do we set those intentions, right? And so communication is so important. And then when we're encouraging each other, that's a part of communication. And then that fosters like a space of trust and an environment where we want to collaborate, right? So communication, encouragement, and collaboration all are together. I mean, it's really, I know those are separate words, but I really think that it's got to all be together. They all work together.
I hear you, but you cheated, and you cheated. So
Okay,
now,
well then you know what?
so now I'm going to force you to choose one.
I would say encouragement,
Now,
because
why is encouragement your favorite one?
there's nothing like when someone believes in you.
I agree
There's nothing
wholeheartedly.
like that. There's nothing like that. And many times we have a vision and we're the only one to see it. And we
Right.
don't halfway believe it either. And if you're in your worst state of mind, it feels haunting. But if you're in a really good state of mind, it feels like this is heaven and I can do it. And so it's amazing what one word of encouragement can do for someone's self-esteem, their belief, their next step. And it's so important. And we need encouragement all the way through. You know, just because we're adults now doesn't mean that I don't want someone to be like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Just like when I was a child, like, why did that have to stop? So I'm gonna go
That
with encouragement.
that is so amazing. And what I love about that is, when we envision the roundtable, we wanted to find a space and hold a space for entrepreneurs to come together on a regular, consistent basis and do exactly that. Encourage each other. And we have programs and consistent strategies we put in place to remind each other how important it is to encourage one another and to consistently do it. So those are great things that I think are super special about our organization. I'm so glad you came by to visit us. So when you think about what it is that you do, and I know there's a lot that you do because you have a very entrepreneurial mind and you're all over the place like many of us are. I know I'm a little bit ADD, but it's like I'm all over the place, right? So how do you hone in that thing? Is what is that you love most about what you get to do?
Oh, the best thing is the people, that I'm offering a real solution, that I
Right.
get to be a part of someone's journey and their unfolding. I find it so deeply rewarding and so honorable to teach someone else, to mentor them, to believe in them, to help them, and then help them go to the next step and then watch them blossom. You know, I get to be a little part of it. I can be like, I was the first one in the beginning. I shared the message, but really they did it all, you
Right.
know? And so that's the best part. And that I can help so many different people. I mean, like I told you before, I want everyone to have a seat at the table. And I like to be that table that constantly expands so everyone can get on in their time. But that's my favorite part.
That is so cool. And it just reminds me, every time I talk to you, I'm like blown away at your responses and your conversation and your commitment to, just sharing the real truth about so many things with people. And I realized, why is she like that? But then I looked at your LinkedIn profile and realized you have a doctorate in metaphysics. And I thought I
Oh.
knew what metaphysics was. I really didn't. I
Hmm.
really thought I knew what it was, but I have to be honest, I had no clue what it was. So I had to look it up. So I looked it up and I thought, oh my God, this is everything that's not science.
Yes.
That's everything. It's so
Yes.
much an understanding how, it's just so much works and so much of the world works. And to deny that, there's truths out there that our science has just never ever caught up to and probably never will, because of its limitations, is an understanding that there is limitless capacity in so much. And I think being able to study what you study so deeply, so well, that's just it's an incredible gift to give to the universe and to everyone else, which I thoroughly appreciate. I was like, why do I like her? Why do I like her? Big brain. That's why I like her. Uh, so
Yeah, I want to say when I found metaphysics, it was for myself but it was amazing. But now it's like, yeah, the essence of life. Now everyone can, again, more people can come to the table. And for those of you who don't know, meta means beyond physics. So it's physics and spirituality fused together. And yeah, it's all the underlining of personal development and good stuff. It's the study of being.
exactly. I love it. I love it. So when you think about the profession you've chosen in terms of, the aeroponics right now, I know that's what you're into right now. That's what you're doing. What is driving that? What do you think is really the wind behind your wings when it comes to that process?
Personal empowerment and self-reliance. I'm a really resourceful person and I want to teach other people how to do it. You know, we do have coaches and there's people are important and we do need life coaches and therapists and a whole team around us. But there's also nothing like when you have a couple personal skills and food. Food is the gateway to health, you know, eating really well. If you want to concentrate, your stomach can't be growling. And if you want to concentrate for a long time, you can't eat processed food because there's no nutrients in it. And so this to me feels like a very hands-on, easy, really just hands-on and very simple and efficient way to empower people right away. You know, it's not like this long thing I have to do, this long 10-year plan or 5-year plan. It's right away. It's a concept that everyone already knows about, right? Who has heard about fruits and veggies in the whole world? Even if you don't eat them.
Right.
So I'm not like sharing a new concept to someone that they don't know what it is. Everyone understands what it is. And even the most unhealthiest person knows they need to eat more fruits and veggies. So I love it. I love how compact it is. I love the story about the inventor, of how he created it in the first place. And I love this type of industry because, again, who can eat fruits and veggies? It goes hand in hand with, I want everyone to sit at the table, and I want them to eat good, and I want them to be able to know how to duplicate that forever.
So I got to ask you, since you brought it up, you know, the 5-year plan, right? If you looked out 5 years from now and you gave yourself the best chance to be as highly successful, whatever it is you need to accomplish and create and dream and be, what are you going to be, do, and have 5 years from today that you don't? Tell me the vision.
Well, I will be just stepping off the yacht, about to get on the plane, and I'm going to be, I would just have celebrated the holidays if it's December. And if I'm in a yacht, then I'm in the south of France. And no, really, it's traveling around and still bringing these tower gardens to, I mean, this is my life's work. This is my soul calling. If you ever felt passionate about something, and I thought I had passion before, this is like, you know, welling up inside of me, my soul calling. So I'm going to be out there, opening up new countries, bringing tower gardens to more people, strengthening current relationships. Maybe I'll be in the next generation of the people that have tower gardens. Their children will become 18. I have a couple other businesses that all tie in together, but as long as they all align with my beliefs, yeah, out there. I mean, who knows? In 5 years, with the way that universe is and technology and all the ideas, who knows what new technology is going to be out there? I really want to get into sustainable housing development. I mean, everything that has to do with sustainment and being resourceful and longevity and the broadest path, so more and more people can get on it.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. So I'm going to put Anjali backstage for a minute. I'm going to say goodbye as we talk about Kwanzaa, but I'm going to bring her back, and she's going to share in the discussion a little later on. So I'll remind any of you all to if you have any questions for me, you have any questions for Anjali, please put that information in the chat. If you're coming from a place, if you're coming from, I don't care where you're coming from, put in your information in the chat. If there's something that you want to share with the listening audience and you want people to know about it, put it in the chat. If I can, I'll give you a shout out, let everybody know. In a minute, I'm actually going to post the stream itself so that you can figure out how do you come on camera and ask a question if you want to do that. So if you want to ask a question or whatever, you want to come live on, definitely put that in the chat as well. I'll make sure I get you the link, and then you could come on live and you can ask your question and we can answer your question. Fair enough? I hope so. Hope it is. Let's start out with Ujamaa, cooperative economics. What is it all about? How do we come together? How do we share the workspace? How do we create opportunities together as a community? And how do we all create a joint benefit? Well, it begins with understanding 3 key concepts and principles. And we're going to take a deep dive into these concepts and principles, but I want you to understand first and foremost these 3 concepts and principles. So take out your pen, write them down, come back to them. We're going to talk about them. Here they are. First, principle number 1, you've got to be willing to share the work and the wealth. If you're not willing to share the work and the wealth, cooperative economics is not going to work for you. You have to be willing to share the work and the wealth. Number 2, you have to think about and be energized by economic self-reliance, meaning you, your crew, your team, your community need to figure out ways to really control your destiny, really take it to heart, and own every part of it. Own the work, own the opportunity, own the spoils, own it all. And that means, and nobody else can give you what you've already been given. It's yours to take and yours to do, yours to open up through. Then number 3, you have an obligation of generosity. This is not something that you have a choice to be or do or think through. If you're going to embrace this whole concept of collective work and responsibility, if you're going to embrace this whole concept of cooperative economics and all the other 7 principles of Kwanzaa, then you realize it is your obligation to be generous to those who have needs that can be fulfilled by what you do, how you are, what you present to the universe, right? And so when I first started thinking about this, I had the pleasure of being introduced to Kwanzaa by the creator of Kwanzaa. Dr. Maulana Karenga shared year after year with a lot of us who majored in Pan-African Studies at Kent State University, and so many more of us used to sit at his feet. Him and his wife would come and present to us on a regular, consistent basis. At least twice a year, I got a chance to pick this man's brain about all things in terms of what could happen to grow and develop the community. And he shared with me the wisdom of how he started things and why he did the things he did, why Kwanzaa even exists. And it was really to help those who felt like their culture had not been preserved or had not been brought forward, that they needed something they needed to create within themselves that would give them that cultural impact that culture does. And so the first principle that I want to share with you is the shared work and wealth, right? How do you get that? How do you do that? Where does that come from? And when you think about it, it's not just sharing the benefits that you receive with each other, but it's sharing the work that is required to achieve those benefits and sharing that work fairly, right? Asking for people to do what they can do to help create what you need to create in the businesses and in the universe and the society around you. If people did their fair share, people did the things that they used, the gifts that they have been given, and you helped them to figure out how to use those gifts to produce something that then could actually help benefit and grow the community, then good on you. Oftentimes we think that if we can't hire somebody, that the opportunity's done. And that's not the case. In reality, everybody has something to share. Everybody has a contribution that they can make. The question is, can we help them figure out what their contribution should be? Can we help them discuss that situation in a way that's going to work? When you do this right, what happens is people come together and they develop a sense of self-esteem, a sense of self-concept, a sense of identity and belonging. When you don't do this well, people reject everything that you're doing, everything they're working on. And so it's imperative for leaders, for community leaders, for business leaders, for team members of all types to do a great job of listening, do a great job of communicating to one another and trying to understand what everybody can bring to the table and getting them to bring that to the table and get better and better and better at that on a regular, consistent basis, whatever it is. Some people have a lot of time they can give. Some people have a lot of talent they can give. Some people have a lot of money that they could give. And again, all of that's a contribution. And anybody who makes that contribution should be respected enough to also get a fair share of the profit, a fair share of the benefits that are happening. Now let's talk about economic self-reliance. And I'll just quote Dr. Karenga himself. Ujamaa also stresses that self-reliance in the building, in the strengthening and the controlling of the economics of our own community, that is what it's all about. If you look at the economics of your community, who's doing the hiring, who's doing the work that benefits the community? Is it coming from outside the community? What can the community do to bring itself back to its own self-reliance? How can you do that, right? It's important to keep a tight rein on the resources of your own community. What are your community's resources? How many times have you done an assessment of the talent that's just around you? Who's got some extra time on their hands that they might be able to use for the benefit of whatever you want to do? Who's got some extra money that they might be able to invest and make sure that the websites are working right there where they were supposed to work, or they're making sure that everything, kind of works better. There's all kinds of opportunities if you don't think of people as a monolith. If you think of people as a multi-varying gift that the universe has given you, then the question you have to ask is, how are you going to use that gift? How are you going to work together to collaborate, to communicate, to encourage one another, and create a better sense of strategy, of technology, of strength, right? It's very, very important. When you do this well, everybody gets held to a higher level of value and contribution. Everybody gets to know they did something. They created something. They were a part of the creation and the productivity that empowered the community in a way that's going to make the community better than it was yesterday. Better today than it was yesterday. That's all. That's a thought process. That's an energy that you just kind of have to embrace. We all have talent. We all have resources. We all have an opportunity to work for the shared benefit of others and the entire community, as well as ourselves. I mean, it's not like we should leave ourselves out, but we also have to we can't just think this, it's not me first and me forever, right? It's me first and the community first. Everybody has to participate, and it has to be something that's a collective thought, or we're not thinking cooperatively. We're not processing cooperatively. We're doing everything selfishly, and then we're dictating to others what they must do. That doesn't work. And it's just always better to think about what you can do to create a wellness and a strategy amongst the community. The last principle that we're going to talk about in Ujamaa is about the obligation to generosity. Dr. Karenga says, inherent in Ujamaa as well is the stress and obligation of generosity, especially to the poor and the vulnerable. So if you're truly thinking how you can collaborate, how you can communicate, how you can effectively share what you have with others, you're thinking about those who cannot, those who don't have advantage, those who don't have opportunity, those who don't even feel like they can do the things that you maybe that they can do, but they're not ready to accept or express that yet. It's our responsibility to be generous, to help them open up their eyes to opportunity, to help them engage in the community in a meaningful, positive way, and then to share the wealth of that so that they don't need, and they're not stuck in those lower needs, and not stuck in looking for opportunities for food, for shelter, for clothing, and to be a human being fully engaged in whatever the community is doing to move themselves forward. There's a song that I'd like to share with you, and this is from one of my favorite writers named Mr. Curtis Mayfield. He wrote this song, I think in 1976 or so, but the song is "We Are a Winner." And it was performed by the Impressions originally, so it probably happened before 76, probably about 71, 72. But here is sort of the words of the song. And he wrote this song to empower the communities that he thought would love to hear it. And here's the lyrics. I just want to share the lyrics with you. We are a winner, and never let anybody say, boy, you can't make it because a feeble mind is in your way. No more tears do we cry, and we have finally dried our eyes, and we're moving on up. Moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up. We're living proof, it's all alert, that we're too from the good black earth, and we're a winner, and everybody knows it too. We'll just keep on pushing, like your leaders tell you to. At last, the blessed day has come, and I don't care where you come from. We're all moving on up. Lord have mercy, we're moving on up. Hey, hey, we're moving on up. I don't mind leaving here to show the world we have no fear because we're a winner, and everyone knows it too. We'll just keep on pushing, like your leaders tell you to. At last, that blessed day has come, and I don't care where you come from. We're just going to move on up. I love the lyrics to this song because the song reminds me of what a people together can do, what a community together can do and create. Now, there are so many thoughts about what economics is and what economics could be and how we all can work together. And usually when we think about net economics, we hear all kinds of words like net income and revenue and money saved and net cash flow and return on investment, consumer and producer surplus measures, right? All these terms, these are financial terms. But economics is so much more than just the financials. Economics affects everything that we do. It affects our social wellness and well-being. It affects our political process and strategy. And we have to know that wherever people work, wherever people make produce something, goods and services that they are needed in the community, that's a part of the economic wisdom that we all have to be willing to embrace and share with one another. And when one of us is falling behind, we really shouldn't think that, for some reason we should leave them behind, because it's our responsibility, it's our obligation to generosity to help share and create them. There are 10 practices that I've written in this strategy that I got directly from the Bible. I'm going to read them to you real quick, but I'm not going to go into detail. Practice number 1, you need to develop higher thoughts. You need to really, really think higher about what you're doing, what you're accomplishing, than just what you want and what you need, right? Number 2, you have to keep that unity of faith. You have to really, really have faith in your fellow man, that there's potential and there's a light in each one of us, and that light can be flicked on. All you got to do is reach a little deeper, listen a little harder, find a way to help them see the greatness in themselves, and then turn that light around on them so they can see themselves shining in the spotlight. All you got to do is do that, and you'll find that there's so many reasons to be faithful about each other and to have each other's back in that way. Is that way. Number 3, seek total agreement first. Before you do anything, make sure that somebody is all in. Before you agree that we're going to try to this and we're going to go blah, 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 whatever it is you're going to do, make sure there's total agreement. That's really, really important, because if it's not total agreement, if it's any level of unreadiness, you got to fix it before you get started. Because if you get started and there's that, no one's going to be willing to give their all to it. So you have to have that total agreement. Catch that spirit. Make sure that you have understood the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of willingness, the spirit of openness and creativity. If you do all this together and you do this well, then you're going to fall in love with your community. You're going to fall in love with the people around you. You're going to fall in love with the entrepreneurs, the business leaders, the worker bees, everybody that is going to be working and work well together. Number 5, build better together. You're always going to be stronger together. If you know that, if you know that, even at the back of your mind, you really sense that you can't do things by yourself, you should be doing it with other people, then stop playing around with it and just go for it. Invite people in, make sure they have what they need to be successful, and make sure you have what you need to be successful, and keep things moving together. You're going to enjoy the win much better when you do that. When you'll build better together. You'll be stronger. Number 6, practice altruistic togetherness. We need each other. That's just a fact. It's a social fact of humankind. If you can't understand that we need somebody to pass on that smile. We need somebody to give us a pat on the back. We need somebody to encourage us. We need to do that on a regular, consistent basis for one another, because that's what gives us value and meaning and purpose and significance in this world. And if we don't have it, then we're gonna have a problem, right? Number 7, get it straight and keep it straight. Be orderly, be disciplined, have a process, have a strategy, one that you can articulate and explain and invite people into. If you can't do that, then you have chaos. And when you invite people into it, they're going to see that this is a mess. We don't know what to do with this, and they're not going to be happy. They're going to be disappointed, because they're going to feel like some things are wrong. They got duped. They got brought into a strategy or technology or technique that doesn't work. Number 8, lift each other up consistently, regularly. Always find ways to give each other what we need to support and create a better opportunity for one another. If you do that well, then again, your life is going to be golden. Number 9, share your blessing freely. Again, back to that cultural generosity. We have all been given a great amount of opportunity, a great amount of something, whatever it is, whatever your talents are, whatever your gifts are, whatever your time is, whatever resources you have. Figure out what it is you have that you can share, and then figure out somebody who really needs it and will appreciate it, and then give it. Just do it. Share it freely. Don't worry about what's going to come back to you. I promise you, the universe will work together for you, and everything will come back for your good. Number 10, practice we see. This is my favorite of all the 10 principles I got straight out of the Bible, but I'll share this document with you as you want to. But if you understand how to see things, not just through your eyes, but through everybody's eyes, sort of the way God sees things, right? you're going to have an opportunity to empathize, an opportunity to appreciate one another and other people in a way that others don't, because they're not paying attention. There's a reason why I said it that way, because a lot of people don't pay attention. Attention is a gift you give to other people. And if you do it well, they're going to sense it, they're going to feel it, they're going to understand it, they're going to be about it, it's going to work well. Other ideas that I got from studying this, from studying Ujamaa concepts and principles, is I call them the 7 great lessons of Ujamaa. Got these from some of the best thinkers that are out there. When you think about it, there's 7 key practices, right? Keep the faith. Number 1, you have to be strong in keeping the faith that people are people and people are great. People have amazing opportunities, even if they don't know it yet. But your job is to look inside and see that gift that God has put there inside every person, and see if you can't find it, and keep the faith that is there. Even if you can't find it, even if you have to look a little deeper, do that. Number 2, people are magnificent. It is so true. I got this one from, just a quick thought that Bill Clinton shared once. He said, we all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. That's a quote from him. And that let me understand that, inside of every human being is something magnificent, something great, something phenomenal. We have to be willing, though, to find it. We have to be willing to see it. We have to be willing to look for it. And instead of just, assuming it is, find out what it is specifically in every person that you get a chance to connect with, communicate, and talk to. When you can do that and you see that greatness inside of themselves, they'll start to see that greatness inside of them. And you'll start to relate to that greatness inside of them more so than you relate to the things that they maybe not do so well. Or maybe they don't maybe misunderstood or miscommunicated or did something that, was, not altogether good, right? But if you find that greatness inside of them anyway, you're going to be able to celebrate and honor them for that. And that, the better you get at looking at that and seeing that in other people, the better you're going to get at doing it. And it's going to be really, really good for you, because you're going to be able to see positivity all around you. Don't be the lone stranger. Again, refuse to do it by yourself. Refuse to do it all alone. There's always somebody who can learn something from what you're doing. There's always something who can appreciate what you're doing, but you have to be willing to look at what they're doing and see it. You have to be willing to make the sacrifice. Make the sacrifice of time, talent, and treasure on the behalf of somebody else. Albert Einstein says, strange is our situation here upon earth. Each of us comes from a short visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to a divine purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that we are here for the sake of other men, above all, for those upon whose smile and well-being our own happiness depends, for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. This is important. We all are important, and we all need others to help try to make the sacrifice that they need to make to bring a contribution to our world that is going to make a difference. It's going to matter. Dig for admiration. What I mean by that is not dig to be admired. Dig to admire others. Do what you need to do to reduce the noise around you. Find the private moment. Get together. Have a heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul chat with people. Learn to really, really help them, again, see the greatness in themselves and inoculate themselves against the virus of hate and division that happens in our world. Because love is basically the greatest gift we can share with one another. But we can't share one another if we don't take the time to know one another. We don't take the time to engage and be involved and do the things we need to do to create the kind of community we want to create. And it requires us to really, really dig deep. The best drama is no drama. In my experience, literally, when feelings of opposition or rivalry show up, it's usually because somebody's not giving each other the space to grow. Somebody's not giving someone else the space they need to experience, to express, and to grow. And so therefore that person is feeling shut out, angered, frustrated, and that person rebels, and that person, comes up with an argument, or they try to come up with a way to matter in a situation. And when that really is up to everyone to make sure that we all matter. And when we do that, guess what? There's no drama. And it's the best drama because there's no drama. There's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no anguish that we bring to the table because of a missed opportunity to just bless one another and keep the party going, right? It's very, very important. Practice, practice, practice what I call endless contribution. Always make sure that whenever you get the chance to share the joy of each other with one another, do so. I created a process we use in the roundtable called the RAP approach. The RAP approach stands for respect, affection, and praise. It is an opportunity for us to come together every single week and encourage one another and share with one another and be together, literally in a sense. That's an intimate sense of that. So that's why I didn't use the word appreciation. I used the word affection because it matters so much when we can share these things together. We can do these things together. And as entrepreneurs, I tell you what, that's one of the loneliest things you could do is to be in business for yourself, by yourself, with yourself. It's a lonely game, and there's nobody there to tell you, it's going to be all right. Tomorrow's going to come. Just breathe, whatever it is that takes, relax, whatever they have to tell you. And it's hard for you to hear it, even when you do get it, because you're in that moment that you're in. And so what we try to do at the roundtable is let people just see each other, let people just breathe, let people just be in the same space, even virtually. And it always works. People do feel much better as a result of it, and it's so much fun. Okay, so we're gonna throw some questions around, and we're gonna beat it up. We're gonna chop it up with Miss Anjali. Anjali, what did you think about any of the things we talked about and chatted with in the groups? I'm gonna let you take the stage for a second.
Wow, well, that was so amazing. I just love all that wisdom. I wrote everything down. I would absolutely like that document. I'm adding it to my inspiration wall. And my favorite was, well, gosh, I mean, these things are so beautiful. Which one to choose? Number 2 on the 10 practices. I love that, having the unity of faith and seeing that light, believing that the light exists. I agree wholeheartedly. Even if they don't know it exists, right. It does. And if you start off right off the bat with trying to see everyone's perspective coming from God, from that whole point of view, that we are all brothers and sisters, every one of us, even the ones we think that completely are not in our belief system at all, they are there too. And we make a decision in the beginning that we are going to build better together. We are going to seek total agreement first. And that, what we give out, of course, we receive. And it's not about necessarily the monetary value, it's your intention behind it. And that, we all are here to reveal heaven in the way we're supposed to reveal it. And so I love that you already believe these things. I bet looking them up in the Bible where it was easy for you because you already believe them. And when you talk about it, it's like the light is coming, just pouring out of your face like a beautiful stained glass window. And that's how we all are, many times we're all this beautiful stained glass window, a piece of art. And the only way that we're going to be able to help them turn their light on is with our own example first, inspiring them, encouraging them, believing in them, and going deeper. Now, Maya Angelou does have that quote that when people, I'm going to mess it up, when people show you who they are, believe them in the first place. Now, I believe that to a point, but I want to be like, maybe not, because I still want to show them kindness because maybe no one had ever been kind to them before.
Right.
Maybe they're a product of their environment and no one ever showed them something different. And I think that's what wisdom is like knowing who that is, what they're showing, but what you can see that vision, you can see that light in front of them or inside of them, and that we want them to bring it out because, we're all in relationship with each other. And so everyone out here is supposed to be out here revealing their gifts, revealing heaven. And we've all called each other on a subconscious level, on a metaphysical level. God has called us all to be in relationship with each other. And so that's why we all matter. And so even that person right there, even the one that's really dark, he might be depressed. He could be super racist. He could be super fearful. All of that is fear. He can't remember who he is. And why not be a lamppost on someone else's path, guiding them home? So it's all beautiful.
I'm so glad you liked it. I knew you would. You know, and
Yes.
there's a lot to it. I'm gonna post the document and share with everybody over the next couple of days. But I think that, you know, the research, the resource guide is there, all the materials there, everywhere it came from, so everybody can see all the quotes and all the Bible lessons and every link to every website that brought all that together. But what's most important to me is that people understand that cooperative economics is really a we thing. It's really the responsibility of all of us to work together and to share what we get from that work. And sometimes what we get from the work is not just a product that we can then sell or market or use or whatever. Sometimes what we get from the work is that opportunity again to see each other. You know, it's like we're working together, working alongside of each other, and we're reviewing materials or whatever that is, ideas and concepts, but we're getting to see something in each other that we couldn't see outside of the work.
Yes. Amen.
You know, and so I think if we focus on what can we do together, you know, which is why collaboration is one of the biggest keys of the roundtable, because we force each other to ask the question, what is it that we can do together? Not what you're doing, not what I'm doing, but what can we do together? And when we do that together, it doesn't take away from what we're doing. In fact, it makes us stronger in what we're doing. But I think that we have to have that mindset, and we have to have that ability to inspire that in others, because that's how we create a safety. You know, we're going to work together. We're going to create something together. We're going to get stronger together, and at the end of this, we're all going to be better. And if we can focus on that, do the work, trust each other along the way, then I think, you know, there is nothing but opportunity. There's nothing. The sky's the limit. The problem is when people start to get selfish, and they start to go, well, what's in it for me? And what's in it is not what's in it for you. It's what's in it for we. You know, and if you think about what's in it for we, then everything is in it for you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
because again, we're stronger together. I did a training about this a couple weeks ago, and what I began to understand from all the research that I was doing is that people tend to not understand that when they work together collectively, their capacity is literally endless. But when you work by yourself, then you're limited to what you can do. But when you work with
Yes.
others, your capacity to produce, to create, to be is endless. So you want to know
Yes.
how you can, people want to know, how can I do great things? Well, work well with other people. That's how you can do great things. Other than that, you can't be great. You can only be good. You can be the best you can be. But if you want to be better than you can be, you got to work with other people, because that's the only way to do it. And so if you think about that, this whole cooperative economics makes sense, because you start to realize that, oh, wow, okay, yes, I am my brother's keeper. I'm responsible for everyone around me, and everyone around me is responsible for me. And so, yes, I should be able to lean on them, and I should be able to, you know, work together to figure out when I'm down. Like, I should be able to look to my neighbors, my friends, my associates, and go, you know, this didn't work the way I wanted it to work. I'm not sure what happened, and they should be able to help me come up with a better idea or a better way to go at it. You know, to me, that's what the cooperative is all about. So anyhow, I'm going to close that down. That's what Kwanzaa, when I used to work with Dr. Karenga all the time and talk to him all the time, you know, that's the spirit that he brought to the moment every time we had a chance to share with one another. And it was just an amazing gift. I'm so glad I had a chance to experience it. So in this way, I'm passing it on to everybody else. For those of you who are watching, you can catch this on Facebook, you can catch this on LinkedIn, you can catch this on YouTube. It is being recorded, so you can see the back episodes. If you tuned in late, you can always go back and see it again. Don't worry about that. We're going to shut this party down. Anjali, if you have anything you want to add, go right ahead. I don't think we have anybody just asking any questions, so we're just going to By the way, if you have a question and the show is over, don't worry about it. Ask the question in the chat. We'll see it, we'll get to it, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to know, again, Anjali's contact information is right here. So if you want to find out how to get in touch with her, you got to have one of those hydroponic plant holder thingies she's got there. You got to have it. You got to have it. So go ahead and get it. And that's how you contact her, and she'll make sure she'll hook you up. All right, especially for your schools and your churches and your environments that you have, lots of people in. It's a lovely, lovely thing to see, lovely thing to experience for everybody. And there's no reason why you can't have it. It's affordable. It's easy to get to. So don't be crazy. Do what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do, people. Come on, get to it. All right. Other than that, we're gonna close the party down. Any last words, Anjali?
I just want to say thank you so much. It was so wonderful to meet. It's been wonderful meeting you. Thank you for taking the time and having me as your speaker. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to get to know you better. I love your coaching. I love that you're passionate. I trust you, and I'm just really appreciative of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the same, really, really. Like you said, like I said earlier, there's a kindred spirit in you that I know that, we're going to do some great things together. I don't know what, but it's going to be great. All right, so I'm going to put you backstage, and then I'm going to close this show out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was our special Kwanzaa edition of Coffee, Tea, You and Me. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. We mixed up a couple of little things in there. We did a little interview for Miss Anjali. She's going to be one of the newest members of the Roundtable. If you're interested in the Roundtable, you're interested in coming on board, finding out more, feel free to hit me up, see me on LinkedIn, catch me on the information that's scrolling across. You can text me anytime. I'll be more than happy to answer questions for you. It's a great organization. It's a great strategy, great technique, great people. More importantly, and where great people exist, amazing opportunities exist as well. So I look forward to talking to you. Look forward to seeing you. Had a great time. We're going to be ending the broadcast, and bye, y'all.